Hey everyone, it's Kimberly with I Dream a Lot on eBay, Poshmark, Etsy, and YouTube. I'm just doing a quick intro. We're going to do a what sold video. So I have a lot of things to show you and some interesting sales and some things I would never pick up again. But yeah, so if you're new here, I'm a part-time reseller. And I'm out of West Virginia, so I get a lot of bread and butter items, and I'm here to talk about a lot of bread and butter items, but I also have a couple gems in this video as always. So yeah, stick around. We'll jump over to my laptop and I'll do a screen share with you. All right, everyone, so we're going to go ahead and just look at Poshmark first. Usually I do eBay first, but I just had the screen open, so I'm not going to go through every sale, but in terms of numbers, these are sales. I went ahead and just went back to my birthday, which was January 25th. So these are sales from January 25th until February 5th, 2024. I sold a total of 12 items on Poshmark, and my average sale price was about $25, and I sold about $300 on Poshmark. The first two I'm not going to even click on, because if you guys saw these items, I'm sure you would pick them up. They're basically a no-brainer. So the first pair is the first item are these men's Twisted X woven top like chukka boots, and these were in pristine condition. Twisted X, if you don't know the brand, you just do a quick Google search, and you can kind of check out their items and what they're known for, what they're selling for. But yeah, if you see this brand, just go ahead and pick them up. You don't even need to do a comp. They will sell. People are actively searching for Twisted X, so if they're in good condition and you can get them for a good price, definitely pick them up. In men's, women's, kids, they sell. And the next is a pair of Sorel. Now these aren't Sorel boots. I've had these for a while, but I knew I just had to wait for the right buyer, and they were a smaller size. They're 6.5, but these are in excellent condition. So again, if you find Sorel and they're in really good condition, don't even do a comp. Just pick them up. They're gonna sell. And these stacked heel mules in kind of like this brown leather, kind of distressed, kind of that oiled leather look, sold for $50. Next is just this little vintage baby doll tank top. There was no branding, there were no tags. I mean, I didn't even know the size. I just took measurements. I described it as very stretchy. I said it's a vintage baby doll tank, size small. I used Fairy, Goth, Y2K, and it sold for $18 on Poshmark. I bought it for $1, and it had like this cute little bow. So this is an example of just kind of going with your gut, knowing what's trending, you know, what younger girls are wearing, you know, late teens, early, you know, 20s, those girls that are always kind of just up on the latest fashion and wanting something unique and different. Those really, you know, stylish girls who are, you know, going out and shopping and going to different events, and you know, they're always looking for something unique, and not everyone can afford just to drop a few $100s at the mall or something like that. So, and a lot of people like buying vintage, and they yeah, so I guess this did have tags, because in my listing it says made in USA, so maybe it did. And I showed it on the mannequin too, because it's super low cut, but you could also wear that in the back. So I just kind of showed it a few different ways. So there it is on the back. But I said it's made in USA, so it must have a tag somewhere. but maybe I didn't, but you can see I provided measurements, and there was nothing wrong with it. And like I said, it was super stretchy. That's so funny, I didn't show the tag. But whatever. Not the end of the world there. Okay, so let's go back. Next, oh my gosh, you guys, I've had these pants forever. Now, I've had some interest. I've had people email or message me with questions. And this person actually, I believe, messaged me on a different site. It may have been eBay or Etsy, I can't remember. And then she actually bought them on Poshmark. So she was smart. She did her research and probably found the best price, because on Etsy I probably had them listed for $40 or $50. I've had these for a couple years. They're a pair of vintage, like 80s women's jeans, floral print, and these were very small. They said size 5, but I included in the listing measurements, and also in the description I stated that they fit more like a size 2, because you can see the waist was only 24 inches. So I included that. I included the measurements, and then I said tag reads size 5, but these are like a size 2. So hopefully the buyer is happy. They sold on an offer of $20. I just needed to sell them. This is an item that's been sitting forever, like a few years. So this is one of those items that I mentioned earlier that's housed in the garage in those bins, and those are items that I'm willing to pretty much take any offer. So very happy to see those go. Let's see. This I'm not going to click on, but just want to make a note of it. It's just this little like 90s Y2K t-shirt. It had a cool graphic. That's why I purchased it, Losing My Mind, and it has like this frog and mushroom and very like kind of psychedelic. And it's a Spencer's t-shirt. And some people look for that, for Spencer's stuff. It was that cool store in the mall. I don't know if they're around anymore. But it sold for $25. So yeah. So if you see just cool t-shirts with interesting graphics, and especially if they're made in USA, or you know, this isn't super vintage. It's not like a cool 80s, you know, single stitch. But it was still like Y2K, and it just, the graphic is what sold it. Next is this Y2K jacket. It was a leopard print with like pink satin lining and pink buttons. It had pockets in the front. It was a size medium. It was very like Y2K 90s style. I don't know if it's from that era, but it's that type of style. So I had a pretty good feeling that it would sell. But it only sold for $20, so I probably wouldn't pick it up again. It's a pretty bulky item. I probably paid, I think, $3. I think it was $6.99 and then half off, so $3.50. I would not buy that again, but I will say it only took a couple months to sell, so within that 90 days. Next, I'm not going to click on it. It's Under Armour. You guys know Under Armour. I probably wouldn't buy this again, but I do fairly well with Under Armour. If you guys are okay with like $15 to $20 sales, which there's nothing wrong with that. If I was a full-time reseller and I could be like Lavender Clothesline and have a basement full of all my inventory, I would totally have $15 items that I know would flip, you know, pretty quickly. I don't want to hold on to a $15 item, but if it's going to flip within a few months, yeah. But because I'm so limited on space and time, I have to, you know, what is that, work smarter, not harder kind of thing. So this sold within a few months, just a Under Armour long sleeve top. and it was an extra small, so that's kind of a hard sell. It sold for $16. I probably paid, you guys know my average cost of goods is usually about $4 an item at the end of the year, but I probably paid $3 for that top. This is another item from the garage, Ann Taylor corduroy pants. These were a women's size 8 petite. They're black, just super basic. They sold on an offer of $15. I've had these for a few years. These were actually free. Somebody donated some clothes to me, and so those were free. And this is another item from my garage. Somebody offered me $10. It's vintage, kind of like that 70s style, just a little stainless steel round trivet hot plate. And it was new in box, and it sold for $10. So that's what, 1, 2, 3 items from my garage gone. Yay. Actually 4. I had a bundle, this Ralph Lauren women's size 16 faux wrap dress, and then this blazer. Those 2 items were bundled together, and that Lane Bryant blazer size 14 I've had for a few years, and that was the inventory in my garage, so I was very happy to see it go. And then the last item are these Vans. These are just slip-on, like checkered print Vans, women's size 6.5, and they sold for $18. So those were my Poshmark sales. Like I said, I had an average sale price of about $25, and yeah, I sold about $300, which means about $240 went into my bank account after Poshmark fees. So now let's jump over to eBay. So the first item we're going to talk about is a Chico's Traveler's like little zip-up mesh jacket. It's kind of like something you might wear like in the summer over a bathing suit, or I don't know, it's very just kind of beachy vibes to me. It's very mesh, very see-through. I mean, you could certainly just throw on like a little black cami and wear this out like with black jeans or something like that. It was in pristine condition. It was a Chico size 3, and it sold for $34. So this top, oh, no, not this top. What I was going to say about Chico's is I do really well with Chico's, but I really prefer to sell the larger sizes, so size 3 and above. So if you see Chico's in good condition and you can get it for, you know, like $5 or under, I would definitely probably pick it up if it's a substantial piece. So like a sweater, a top, a dress, like a top that has, you know, like linen or something special about it, not just like a tank top. Now, if you can find some of their Chico's Travelers tank tops, they're like this real stretchy fabric that people search for. If you can find them for like $1 or $2 and maybe even a few of them and lot them together, they sell very well. But just one on its own, you might get $15 or so. All right, so I just wanted to point that out. So the next item are these Duluth women's pants. They were size 18W. The reason I got them is because of the size mainly. They were in perfect condition. They were just like a nylon, like kind of like a hiking pant, and they also had the roll tab legs, so you could make them kind of into like a capri length. And like I said, perfect condition. Duluth is okay, but I mean, we're not talking, you know, Patagonia or something. So they sold for $18.99, so $19. And I've had these for several months. at least, I don't, well, maybe 3 or 4 months. Let's click on it and see. Those sold, oh gosh, I've had those for, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so like just under 3 months. So yeah, those did well. They sold within 90 days, but they only sold for $19. So again, if you're okay with selling items between $15 and $20, there are a lot of bread and butter items between the, let me rephrase that. There are a lot of clothing items at your local thrift stores that a lot of resellers overlook, or they're like me and they have a very specific kind of business model to where they're not picking up items that only sell for $15 to $20, so they leave them behind, which is great for you. So yeah, kind of pay attention to some of these things I'm talking about. I'm saying I wouldn't pick these up again, but that's because my business model right now, it could change in the future, right now is $30 or more. So I'm really trying to focus on that price point. But yeah, this was a decent sale. I probably paid $3 or $4 for these pants. Next is this sweater. As you can see, it's been listed since September, but I knew I'd probably have to wait until, you know, November, December, January to sell, and it did sell. I believe this sold on January 25th, and it sold for $15. Would I pick this up again? No, but again, I thought it would do well. It was in pristine condition. No pilling, no nothing. It didn't even seem like it had been worn. It's Alice and UO. I don't even know what that is. What is that? Yeah, no clue. Alice and UO. Little sweater, size small, and it was a star print. So it was in perfect condition. I bought it on $1 day and it was the star print. So I thought with all of those factors that it would definitely sell. But at that point, I knew I probably wouldn't get much more than 15 or 20, and sure enough, it sold for 15. Next is a Foxcroft women's blouse. This is just a white button-up shirt. And the reason I bought it is because Foxcroft does well in the plus sizes. So this was an XXL. It was in very good condition. There were no issues, and everyone, I mean, needs like a white button-up shirt in their wardrobe. And usually women have a few different ones. Sometimes we want one that's fitted, sometimes we want one that's more boxy, sometimes we want a 3/4 sleeve, a long sleeve. So we usually have a few. So this is a great wardrobe staple. It was a good brand, and it was in a good size. I would not get Foxcroft in smaller sizes. I don't even know if I'd buy it in just XL, but definitely in plus sizes. And it sold for $20. It did take several months. This has been listed since August. So keep that in mind. Next is just a pair of shorts. I listed these in October, so I figured these wouldn't sell until closer to spring or summer. I picked them up for $1. They're the No Boundaries, but I think they're vintage. Yeah, they're vintage No Boundaries, meaning like Y2K, not current No Boundaries from Walmart. And they had the back pockets, the flap back pockets, and they were in perfect condition, no issues, and they sold for $15. And they took a few months, but again, they're a pair of shorts I was listing in the fall, so that's to be expected. So again, if you're okay with $15 to $20 item sales, I would pick this up again. All right, this was a fun sale. I bought this just about a month ago, and it sold actually on an offer. I sent out an offer to a buyer or to a watcher, and they accepted the offer and paid right away. and they paid $75, and they paid like another, I think it was like another, I don't know, $25 for shipping or something like that. So this is a Lilly Pulitzer, and it was a king size duvet cover with 2 pillowcases. And here's the tag. It was a collab, so it was kind of like a collab. It was Lilly Pulitzer exclusively for Garnet Hill. So yeah, so that was a great sale, and it only took about a month to sell, and I was in about $8 total for that. So yes, obviously I would pick that up again. So that's an example of, I found this at my local Goodwill, and where I live, I would never think that I would find Lilly Pulitzer, but I did. So I do get lucky here and there. Next, this was fun. This gives me total Marilyn Monroe, Happy Birthday, Mr. President vibes. But here's the dress. It's DB Studio was the brand. The brand didn't matter. It was vintage, probably like from the 90s is what I'm thinking, maybe early 2000s, but just a formal beaded like sequin dress. And it was really pretty, and it was in excellent condition. Women's size 8, you can see there, very low back. There's the tag, DB Studio, made in India. And yeah, more tags. And then I provided all the measurements. And then with this, I included this women's faux fur little wrap. So they paid what the price you see there, $130, plus they paid an additional like $20 shipping. It must have been I think it might have been going to California, or I can't really remember, but yeah, I listed that in September. And again, this is an item that, I mean, it's $130. I knew that it was going to need the right buyer. And hopefully it works out and they don't return it. I don't think they will. I provide good measurements, and I mean, it's a stretchy dress, so I think it'll be fine. But yeah, $130. So that was a great sale. And I was probably, I don't know, maybe $8 in total. Next is a pair of shoes I literally just listed, yeah, not even a month ago, a few weeks ago, and they're men's Echo, ECCO. If you find these shoes in good condition, I would definitely comp them, give them a lookup, especially on eBay. These took just a couple weeks to sell, and I accepted an offer of $45.55. Of course, I would buy those again. This was just a cool vintage stretchy animal print mock neck or high neck top. It was sheer. I included, you know, all sorts of pictures, close-up pictures, pictures of the tag. There was no size. I provided measurements. So how I usually do measurements, you can see underarm to underarm, and then I provide a close-up of, because it's kind of hard to see, but I want them to see how I measured it. So you can see it was about 18 inches across, and then that one, the length, and then I provide the close-up. So that was almost 23 inches. Yep, and then there it is with the zipper down. That's it. Yep, and that sold on an offer for $20. And that took a year to sell. So I'd probably pick it up again if it were like $1, just because sometimes it's hard to pass up really cool vintage pieces. And it was such a small, lightweight piece that, you know, I don't mind waiting for the right buyer. And I kind of also thought that I may keep it if it didn't sell. So that's kind of something else I keep in mind, which can get you into trouble, because then you have a closet full of clothes and you live in West Virginia and never dress up. All right, this was a men's shirt. This was a Union Bay flannel men's shirt, size XL, in very good condition. Not much to say, but I like selling these types of flannel shirts, so I try to pick them up whenever I see them, as long as they're in good condition and a cool colorway. Brand doesn't always matter. But again, this only sold for $15, so I probably would stop myself from picking it up, even though it's very hard for me to not pick up a shirt like this. Was this made in USA? I don't know, but. And then the last item is another like Y2K style top, and this is just New York and Company. So the brand is obviously no big deal, but it sold for $20. And I've only had it listed a couple months. So yeah, the reason I picked this up is, number one, it's vintage. It was made in USA. People like that. It was a higher quality fabric, meaning just when you touch it, it doesn't feel like it's going to disintegrate if you wash it, or it just felt like a higher quality fabric. It was made in USA. This style of top is on trend right now, and the color is on trend as well. So with all of those factors, I decided to pick it up. I probably paid $1.50 because I think I got it on half off day, and it sold for $20. So that's it, guys. Those are my sales. So from January 25th through February 5th, so about 10 days, I sold. Well, I sold about $800, but about $640 went into my bank account. Not terrible, but as you guys know, I'm trying to get my numbers up, but that's really not, we're not going to really see a big jump in numbers. I think it's going to be very gradual because I have a lot of those lower priced items selling, probably more lower priced items from my older inventory. But then, we get lucky, like with that dress, and then the Lilly Pulitzer bedding, and, those $50 Sorels and things like that. So that's it. All right, guys, have a great week, and hopefully I will be back soon with a haul video. I'm still really, trying to watch myself in terms of thrifting. I picked up 3 items today. I'll probably do a little thrifting on Friday and or Saturday. And so maybe like probably next Monday night I will do a haul video. All right, that's it, guys. Talk to you soon.